my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. And on this incredible Thursday, we are here, January 22nd, Final Fantasy Remake Drop Day. If you happen to get it earlier, God bless to you. If you love my wonderful heated Snuggie, well, look no further than Amazon, my friend, and they will hook you up. It is electrically powered, like myself, charged up. Well, if it's your first time finding the channel, please take my invitation to become a sub. Here on Xbox Frontline News, we talk about all the news in the industry with an Xbox Central love, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. And if you are a member, you got this video early. So shout out to you for being a member. Now, normally on Fridays, we do Fight Night Fridays. Tomorrow, it cannot be because tomorrow, celebration of my son's birthday with my niece and her extended family, we will be having a great time. Seafood buffet, top tier, lobster tail on the table, having fun. But anyway, getting back to this developer direct. Now, this is the first direct of the year from Microsoft and the big three. Microsoft is first out of the gate showing 4 games. They announced 3 and had 1 surprise game. That surprise game made me kind of lose a bet with myself, I guess, because yesterday's video had me believing State of Decay 3 will be shown. Now, I know it's just hopes, prayers, and wishes. And that's all that is. And that's all it will ever be. You know, you go into these things hoping, praying, and wishing your titles that you so care about are shown, talked about, or even hinted at. So the fact that I got none of the 3 and got some new stuff, well, we're going to get into all 4 articles. And at the end today, I'm going to talk about the reason why Fable had to get docked today at the show. You may not have liked my opinion on Iron Lord's podcast today as we covered it live, but after a much needed rewatch in 4K without all that compression and all that stuff while it was streaming, the King has come to a different consensus. Let us see what that may be. As anticipation builds for Forza Horizon 6 on all consoles, well, first one's out the gate is the Xbox Series X and X and PC. The title's a Play Anywhere title, so if you happen to buy it digitally on Xbox, well, you get a chance to play that on your PC and on your Xbox ROG Ally X, on your Xbox handhelds, wherever they may be. And it will arrive later for the PlayStation 5 at some point in time this year, giving Microsoft and Xbox probably a 6-month head start. We all know that the PlayStation contingent loves Forza Horizon 5. 5 million of you guys racked it up and got it. So I do appreciate you guys looking at this. This title looked fantastic. The standard edition will cost you $70 bucks. But then, you know, you have different customizations and different packages when it comes to this title. So I'm going to talk about Forza. I'm going to talk about the stuff at the ending segments like I do one of the standouts of the show. As the impressive beast of Reincarnation continues to impress, Releases on Xbox Game Pass this summer. This RPG is set to stun the world. Now, I always thought that the Beast of Reincarnation was one of the titles that looked fantastic and I was eagerly anticipating. And being a black card Xbox Ultimate carrier, I knew that it was coming to me day one. Now that we got more information on the title, I will go into this title in the ending segment. But again, Beast of Reincarnation, oh my God. I gotta say, man, standout. A standout title. As Fable takes that deep dive, there are people split in the industry. Now, I know a lot of these guys actually toe the company line and say all the right things because they don't want to be on the wrong side of history when this thing comes out. So you will not catch a lot of people saying bad things about this title. They will not point out the glaring flaws that I've seen. After a rewatch, I got a chance to come to a different consensus that I initially had when watching it. And I'm going to tell you why I came to the consensus that I came to based upon the projection and the introduction of this said deep dive. So, individuals upset with my take on Iron Lord's podcast today, sit back, relax, hear me speak sense. If it resonates, it resonates. It doesn't, it doesn't. But again, you can never tell me that I don't call out individuals when it's needed. But y'all just want a game. I want a legend. Now, with the title that made me lose my knees to the group, well, you can't really lose your knees based upon the fact that you just made a prediction. It was something that I hoped that I wanted to see that didn't come to my fruition. So again, Kiln is in the building. Creation and destruction, how Double Fine's Kiln combines pottery with brawling. Now, I'm not going to lie to you people. As the deep dive into Kiln continued with Double Fine and Tim Schafer, I realized I needed this game. Now, it looks like a fun party game. It looks like something that you can play online with your friends. It would be dope if you're able to put your face on it. You know, like how you use the camera in those Mario games. I don't even know if they're using it anymore on the Switch too. But this thing looks fun. It looks fun. And the fact that you're able to make your pottery how you wanna, it leaves a lot of liberties to the twisted-minded individuals like myself who will be making a lot of situations more funny than it's supposed to be. Imagine a flying pottery glizzy hitting you square in the face, taking you off the board, and making you feel all types of upset. And I can just yell around. I hope there's chat that they can hear me and not just proximity chat. I want to be able to yell, scream, and hoot and holler when it comes to this game. Being that it's dropping inside Game Pass, I owe it to myself to exercise my black Xbox Ultimate Game Pass card and, check it out, see it, and report on it. But again, one of the surprises that I didn't know I needed, but I probably want really, really bad now. Now, I'm glad that everybody has made it this far in the video and you guys actually watch all through my videos, and I appreciate you guys. But I do have to say a couple of things. Let's get into Kiln Double Fine's pottery brawler. Now, the party aspect of it is incredible. And also the ability to personalize your pottery while having fun running around the map. It reminds me of Fusion Frenzy with more creativity. Hopefully, it lives up to all the expectations that I have for the title, because I looked at all the developers and everybody seemed to have been genuine and having fun, either playing it, talking about it, or talking about how they can personalize their pottery avatars. It was a nice, lighthearted, comedic segue into more of the serious stuff that we had at the show. So that's the reason why I started off with that title, because Boom, came straight out of nowhere, shocked me, shocked everybody that was watching that anticipated something else from out of Xbox and Microsoft's stable. Whereas Double Fine shows up with Kiln, and you gotta really think about this. They have so many different titles with so many different developers working with multiple titles at one time. Double Fine just did Keeper. So to bring this title out and have it ready to go shows a testament to Microsoft and Xbox allowing developers to be developers and develop for their console and many more systems. So the fact that it's Play Anywhere allows me to try it on the go or at home. But I love the fact that it goes inside Game Pass because these are one of those titles that you can easily miss. But having that Game Pass allows me to try it before I buy it. Now, the one title that I had no fear of was Forza Horizon 6. I had the highest expectations of the graphical powers of Forza Horizon 6 based off of I know that Forza Horizon 6 wasn't going to be held back by the Xbox One. This was a fully integrated series console game that took full advantage of the power underneath the hood of a Series X title. I saw it on full display. After going to Japan last year, after being in Tokyo and Haneda, Osaka, seeing places that I wanted to be, like Osaka, take the bullet train there, but seeing stuff like Shibuya, everything that I saw in this title gave me, how can I say it, like remorse in my heart, because I really want to go back there. It made me long for the early mornings of getting up and crossing the street and going to the 7-Eleven and the bustling and hustling of the midday commute, but also seeing the night driving and how Japan turns into a different beast when the lights go down. I had no fears when it came to Forza Horizon 6. I knew 60 frames per second was going to be in the building. I knew graphical fidelity was going to be top notch. I knew audio was going to be second to none. Location was spot on. So all I can say is to Playground Games and Turn 10, kudos to you. Now, I do say this with a heavy heart because I do believe that with Forza Horizon 6, I do believe that it's the end of the Forza Motorsports run. I hope that is not so. I hope they find a way to integrate Forza Motorsports into Forza Horizon, give it a track racing option, give it something that you can spin off and have people play. But yeah, so that's the only thing. Other than that, that game was absolute 10. Absolute 10. Beast of Reincarnation. Now, I always realized from the beginning that the game looked special. And then when I was told that it was made by the Pokemon company Game Freak, I was kind of nervous. I was kind of nervous at first, and seeing some of the games reminded me of other games. But this developer deep dive with Game Freak allowed me to know that Beast of Reincarnation is not going to be something that I've played before. It may have remnants of great games inside of it, but the game itself, the RPG itself, the skill tree that it has, the companion option, the sneak, the ability to turn it into turn-based, the many different options that I've seen with the game as far as the traversal. You guys know I'm a huge traversal fan. The game showed me that it is more than I thought it was. When I thought it was a regular Souls-like game in the vein of Phantom Blade Zero that relied heavily on martial arts to push the narrative forward, Beast of Reincarnation actually showed me that it's a deep RPG with skill trees, with abilities that you have in the game that is so diverse and so different, with a tight enough gameplay when it comes to Souls. You would wish that Souls-like games actually take on this type of challenge. Now, I must say Black Myth Wukong has done something like this, but I don't know to what extent when I get a chance to play this game. But again, I am thoroughly enjoying the anticipation of this title after watching and carefully nitpicking all the stuff that I did see of this title with all the different costumes. The fact that the protagonist in the game is a very beautiful character in the vein of Stella Blade. I actually, without a lot of the bounce, all right, let's be clear. But again, the game looks phenomenal. It looks like it plays great. I cannot wait to get this game. As a black card carrying Xbox Game Pass Ultimate lover, this game definitely is a 10. Now, I know a lot of you guys are anticipating the backpedaling. What I won't do is ever back down off of my initial reaction to something. Because whatever my initial reaction to something is my gut reaction. If you watched Iron Lord podcast, I called out Fable for I thought that the combat was weak. I thought that the magic wasn't as bombastic as I wanted it to be. I incorrectly pointed out that it didn't have a lock-on feature when after watching it again, it does have a lock-on feature. It does have that. It does approach that. I kind of realized what was the problem besides the frame rate. The presentation of the Direct did it a disservice. Where the other titles, Forza, Beast of Reincarnation, and Kiln from Double Fine, all had developers that said they spill in the beginning, which was like a minute or so, and then got directly into gameplay and showed so much of it. Where Fable constantly interrupted, interjected, and ceased gameplay for the most part. Technically, you only really had 40 seconds of true gameplay that they were able to show. And I personally felt that was a red flag. It sent my spidey sense absolutely tingling, thinking that, well, maybe this title isn't ready. After seeing the frame rate, well, maybe this title isn't ready. After seeing the combat, well, maybe this title isn't ready. So I'll go back and I'll watch it again in isolation of my home by myself in 4K without the compression and all that other stuff, and just taking the title in to see exactly where I could be wrong, what could I have missed. As a Fable fan, I realized that they captured Albion perfectly. Now, I do have a couple of nitpicks with the NPCs, but the NPCs are actually moving, shaking, and grooving throughout the world. So with that, I have no problem. You're talking about minor nitpicks, but combat, I pinpointed exactly what was wrong with my initial thought of the combat. When we first saw it in pre-alpha, the combat was larger in scale. Your main protagonist was larger. What they did now was they took a wider view, and it could have the field of view wider when it came to this build of the game, opposed to the original build, which looked a little bit closer. Characters looked a little bit larger. But now the characters look a little bit smaller. So when you take a huge scale character and you make it demonstrative smaller, then you realize that you take away something from the title. So I realized that was one. And if you watch these videos that I have going on, you're going to see alpha, pre-alpha. You're going to see all the builds of the game outside of just what they just showed you, the 40 seconds of gameplay. Then they brought in the real estate aspect of it, the relationships, the housing, the love, all that other stuff. That stuff matters. But what matters most to me is frame rate. knowing that frame rate is the last thing that they actually put inside a game, actually work on, being that Playground Games is working on Forza Horizon 6, and then after the game launches, after they did all the tweaks and the twerks with it, then they can actually sit down with Fable. I think that's where it went wrong. So, me personally, I thought that Fable was an 8. Whereas some people's going to call it an absolute 10, and they're fine to have their opinion. But again, I want you to understand this. If I don't give real opinions, if I don't talk about what I see, if I don't express myself fully in the manner that is respected, then I'm a fraud. So a lot of the people that you're seeing, yeah, maybe they do have anticipation theory going on with them and they're so hyped for it. Or maybe they're fearful of giving any form of criticism because of lack of access. I don't fear that because I got it out of the mud. So you can't take what you never gave me. You never gave me this opportunity. I took this opportunity with hard work, determination, and grit. And honesty. Being honest with the people here. So yeah, we do know that all these titles are Play Anywhere titles. We do know that they're day one inside Game Pass. We do know that all of these titles will make their way over to the PlayStation ecosystem at some time, be it day and date, be it after post launch or whatever. I'm going to always tell you, I don't really give a damn. They can get the game, go buy the game, go have fun with the game, because I need Fable to be an absolute success, because I want more Fable. I don't want, here's this Fable, and then the next 20 years, I don't get the next Fable. So, this is Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. After watching Fable again, I'm going to bump it up to an 8, and I'm going to give the show a 9. Docking the intrusive nature of the developers that were interrupting the gameplay over at Fable. Playground Games, you did a great job with Forza, but then you interjected, and kind of stepped on the toes of Fable, the most anticipated title that you had there. But with that being said, you didn't let me down, because there's room for improvement. Will the game be delayed to 2027? That is the biggest question that I would have for the title. Will the title be delayed to 2027? I think by June we'll have the complete answer to that. But this is Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. I'm glad you made it this far. I appreciate each and every last one of you. Members, enjoy the video. I have another video going up tomorrow where we'll be talking about Ubisoft and the cancellations. But today is Xbox Day, and Ubisoft can wait. Because Xbox first, Xbox best, Xbox butter, baby. And I want you to go where game is game and winners win. I want you to do what I try to do every day. I want you to try to play the Game Pass.
Now let me alone and piss off!
Play it day one with Game Pass.